Good afternoon, students. Let's continue our session for biology. In today's session, we'll start with the second unit as we have completed first unit in our last session and we have seen the syllabus of first unit and revision, done the revision of unit 1 and I have given you the assignments related to unit 1. The last date for submitting the assignment is 10th 10th of May. Still 5 days I'm giving you. Today is 5th. Okay, today is 5th May. By 10th May, everyone should send me the assignment of unit 1 what I have given in our last session on 10th May. Do the assignment, draw the diagrams, take the photos and WhatsApp me. I'll give the assignment of unit 2 afterwards. First you do this unit 1 assignment what I have given in our last session. In unit 1 the diagrams I have given. I have done the revision and given you the assignment of unit 1 in our last session. Okay, so everyone should submit me the assignment of unit 1 before 10th or on 10th May. We'll continue our today's session with unit 2 biodiversity. This is the syllabus of unit 2 biodiversity. In unit 2 we'll discuss three systems here: plant system, animal system and microbial system. So three systems are included in your syllabus of unit 2 biodiversity. That is, first system is plant system, second system is animal system and the third system is microbial system. In unit 2 biodiversity, the meaning of biodiversity here, bio is related to life, diversity means diverse group of all the living organisms present on the earth. In the living organism, all these systems will be included. Plant systems, living organisms include plants, animals and microorganisms. So that's why here microbial system, animal system and plant system is given related to your syllabus of biodiversity. So biodiversity means the diverse group of living organisms including plants, animals and microorganisms. So this is the syllabus of unit 2. We'll start with unit 2 in our today's session. In the unit 2 we'll continue this topic here on today's session. In the animal system we will be studying here the digestive system and the respiratory system in our today's session. Okay, in the animal system 4 systems are included, that is digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system and excretory system. So in today's session we'll start with the animal system, the elementary study of digestive and respiratory systems and their functions will study in our session here. Okay, so digestive system, we'll see the diagram of digestive system and respiratory system and the diagram of the respiratory system. Okay, so this is what the in the animal system we are studying about the digestive and respiratory systems, and we are starting with the unit 2 biodiversity. Okay, so in unit 2 the study of the digestive system and their functions is included. So digestive system, human digestive system will consist of the alimentary canal and the associated glands. Alimentary canal, it will begin with mouth and it will end to anus. So human digestive system includes the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is nothing but it is starting with mouth and it is ending to anus. In the digestive system, starting with mouth, then pharynx, then esophagus, then stomach, then small intestine, then large intestine. So all these are the parts of the digestive system, starting with buccal cavity, nothing but the mouth. So human digestive system consists of the alimentary canals and the glands, and alimentary canal parts are mentioned here on the screen. Digestive glands are also related to the digestive system. These digestive glands will be present in the alimentary canal, in the walls of the alimentary canal. The salivary glands, liver and pancreas are also included. Human digestive system is very complex in nature. Different parts are involved and they perform different functions by using different digestive juices and enzymes. Digestive juices and enzymes will help in the process of digestion. The alimentary canal is basically starting with mouth and it is ending to the anus. We eat various types of food which has to be digested, which has to pass through the same digestive tract, and the food we eat should be converted to substances so that it will give us the energy. That is the function of the digestive system. Converting the substances small enough so that our body can be utilized to give us the energy. Digestion, digestive system will perform the function of digestion. What is digestion? Digestion is nothing but breaking down of complex food substances into simple one with the help of the enzymes. Is nothing but the digestion. This is the diagram of the digestive system. Everyone should draw this diagram of digestive system in the running notes. Maintain the running notes. Your notes will be verified once you enter the college, and your notes, after seeing your running notes only after attending the class, do watch the complete video, draw the diagrams, take the photos and WhatsApp me so that I'll give you attendance and as well as the assignment marks. Okay, so you have to draw this diagram of digestive system, human digestive system. Food is entering through our mouth. It is crushed by our teeth in the mouth and it is mixed with the saliva. Saliva will make it wet and this food will pass through the esophagus, buccal cavity, mouth. Food is entering through the buccal cavity and it is mixing with the saliva secreted by the salivary glands. The sublingual gland, parotid gland, submandibular glands will help in mixing the food with saliva. It will make it slippery and this process we are calling it as mastication. Mixing the food with saliva after crushing it with our teeth. This process is nothing but the mastication. Then the food formed after mastication will be the bolus and this bolus is passing through the next system, that is next part of the digestive system, that is esophagus. Esophagus as this one. Saliva will be helping in mixing the food and making it slippery. By the help of this three pairs of salivary gland, first pair will be located at the side of the jaw and we are calling that as submandibular glands. Submandibular glands are the salivary glands which is secreting the saliva, the liquid substance which is helping in mixing of food and making it slippery. And that process we are calling it as mastication and that will form the bolus food. And second pair is located below the tongue. We are calling it as sublingual glands. Sublingual glands are the salivary glands which is secreting the saliva and the third pair is at the side. This is the parotid glands. Parotid glands. The third pair of the salivary glands. Saliva, the enzyme will be present in the saliva, that is amylase, which helps in the breaking down of complex carbohydrates present in the food into simple ones. This process of breaking down of complex substances into simple one with the help of the enzymes, we are calling it as digestion. The process of digestion. Then tongue is mainly helping in mixing and pushing the food. The soft food mixed with the saliva will pass through the esophagus by wave-like movements. In the esophagus, a movement will be performed that will help in passing of the food through the esophagus into the stomach. After performing the process of mastication with the help of the salivary glands secreting the saliva, food is passing into the stomach through this esophagus. Esophagus will perform a movement called as peristaltic movement, a wave-like movement which is helping the soft food mixed with saliva pass through the esophagus and enter into the stomach. This is entering into the stomach. At the stomach, food will get the juices present in the stomach. In the stomach, we also have HCl and the gastric juices, which is helping in the process of digestion. In the stomach, we have different enzymes. Enzyme pepsin will be present in the stomach. Pepsin enzyme will break down the proteins present in the food. Proteins are broken down into smaller molecules with the help of the enzyme pepsin. So in the stomach we have gastric juices HCl and the enzyme pepsin, which is helping in the breaking down of the proteins into smaller molecules and helping in the process of digestion. So stomach, in the stomach, food will be in the form of soft, slimy substance where proteins and carbohydrates have already been broken down. So this soft, slimy substance in the stomach where proteins are broken down with the help of the enzyme pepsin. This soft, slimy substance of food, we are calling it as chyme here in the stomach. Then food from the stomach, it is passing into the small intestine. Small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is starting from the mouth to anus. We are calling it as alimentary canal. And small intestine is the longest part of the alimentary canal. There's duodenum. Duodenum is the first part of the small intestine. In the duodenum, the digestion of the carbohydrates, proteins and fats. We have done the discussion on carbohydrates, proteins, fats in our unit 1. So, the digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats will be done in the first part of the small intestine, that is duodenum. It is the proximal part of small intestine. We are calling it as duodenum here. So duodenum is helping in the digestion of carbohydrates, further digestion of carbohydrates, proteins and fats. It will also receive the secretions from the liver, pancreas, and the secretions will help in the digestion, further digestion of the food. making the conditions, internal conditions of the intestine gradually from the basic to alkaline conditions. Fat will be digested by converting into smaller globules with the help of the bile juice. Secreted from liver. Liver will secrete the bile juice, will help in the process of fats, will help in the conversion of the process of digestion of fats by converting into smaller molecules with the help of the bile juice, which is secreted by the liver. Liver will secrete the bile juice, will help in digestion of fats. Pancreatic juice secreted by the pancreas. Pancreas will secrete the pancreatic juice, will contain the enzymes like trypsin, which will help in the further digestion of the proteins and the fats. Lipase enzyme will help in the conversion of the fats, the complex molecules into simple ones. Then from the small intestine, the first part is the duodenum. Then it is entering into the large intestine. Large intestine will have all these parts: cecum, ascending colon, then the descending colon, then the rectum, and the last part of alimentary canal is the anus here. So this is about the digestive system, the elementary study of digestive system and the functions is included in your syllabus. Food is entering through the mouth, then it is going into the buccal cavity, then pharynx, then esophagus, then stomach, then from the stomach to the duodenum, first part of the small intestine. Here duodenum will receive the juices from the liver and the pancreas. Then from the small intestine to the large intestine, then rectum, then the anus. Here we can see pyloric sphincter. The sphincter will open and close for passing the food from the stomach to the small intestine. Pyloric sphincter will help in the passage of the chyme or the food, soft food in the stomach to the duodenum, the first part of the small intestine. Here you can see a sphincter, pyloric sphincter will open and close for passing of the food from the stomach into the duodenum. Next we have another system, that is respiratory system. Respiratory system of humans will include the external nostrils, nasal chamber, nasopharynx, larynx, trachea, bronchioles, and lungs. All these are the parts of the respiratory system. Respiratory system of man. It will include the external nostrils, a pair of external nostrils open out above the upper lip and they will lead into the nasal chambers. A pair of external nostrils will lead into the nasal chambers. Nasal chambers will lie above the palate and are separated from each other by the help of the nasal septum. It is differentiated into three parts here. You can see first part, vestibular part, second part, respiratory part, and the third part is olfactory part. Vestibular part, which will have the hairs and some sebaceous glands to prevent the entry of the dust particles. The entry of the dust particles will be prevented by the help of this vestibular part of the nasal chambers. Next, in the respiratory part, it will involve in the maintaining the temperature of the inhaled air. In the process of respiration, we inhale the air, the temperature will be conditioned and maintained with the help of this respiratory part. Then the last part is the olfactory part of the nasal chamber, which will detect the smell. Sense of smell will be detected by the olfactory part. Then nasopharynx. Nasal chambers will lead into the nasopharynx through a pair of internal nostrils. Nasopharynx is the upper portion of the pharynx. Then we have larynx. Larynx is nothing but the sound box which helps in sound production. Voice box or sound box is larynx. Larynx is helping in the production of sound. Then we have trachea, windpipe. Trachea is nothing but the windpipe. It's a straight tube. I'll show you the diagram of the respiratory system now. Then bronchi, bronchi and bronchioles. Sorry, this is bronchi. B-R-O-N-C-H-I, bronchi and bronchioles. Then the lungs. This is the diagram of the respiratory system related human respiratory system. Lungs. This lungs will occupy the greatest part of the thoracic cavity. Lungs are covered by double membrane, double layer pleura with pleural fluid in between them. Lungs will occupy the thoracic cavity greatest part, and this so here larynx, you can see. After that trachea, the inhaled air will be entering in the process of respiration through these parts, and finally it will be entering into the lungs. Trachea, bronchus, this bronchus, Pleural membrane is the membrane which is covering the lungs. Pleural fluid is the fluid. Pleural, P-L-E-U-R-A-L. Pleural fluid is the fluid present in between the double layered pleura membrane. This membrane, pleural membrane and the pleural fluid present in between them will reduces the friction on the lungs. Diaphragm will help in the mechanism of breathing, inspiration and expiration. This diaphragm will help. So respiration in humans is nothing but the breathing. Mechanism of breathing is nothing but it is done by inspiration and expiration. The movement of air into and out of the lungs is nothing but breathing. It is involved in two stages here. That is the first one inspiration and the second one expiration. Inspiration here is intake of the air into the lungs. Intake of the air into the lungs is called inspiration. It is taking place by the help of the contraction of the diaphragm here. This diaphragm will contract and help in inhaling of the air in the process of respiration. Contraction of the diaphragm here will increase the volume of the thoracic chamber. Expiration. Expiration is release of the air to the outside is expiration. Here in air expiration also the diaphragm is helping. Relaxation of the diaphragm will help in the expiration process or release of the air present in the alveoli. Alveoli is this. Air present in the alveoli will be released out by the relaxation of the diaphragm by the process of expiration. Expulsion of air from the lungs is expiration. So, this is about the respiratory system. The respiratory system, you have to draw the diagram of this lungs. After drawing the diagram, do take the photos and draw the diagrams in your running notes. Maintain the running notes for the assignments and the attendance. So we have seen the unit 1 biodiversity, two topics in our today's session, that is digestive system and the diagram related to digestive system, and respiratory system and the diagram related to respiratory system. Okay, thank you students, that's all. We'll continue with unit 2 in our next session.